Bitch, I'm like President, flying around that area. In a spaceship or jet, my ginger Yuri, I'm a cherubim. I created the whole Western world cause you know I be Native American. Just because you are an Indian, they gonna decide to put you in the air again. You see the same kind of ages, but you know Australia created Aquarius. You got the mark of the beast on your hands at the end of the times of period. Living I see that the fail there. 6 a.m. up in the morning. Don't give a fuck who you worship if you got beef to tell me if you really born it. Yeah. But you be acting like a Mormon. Invest in the banks like JP Morgan. Now you got to pay a mortgage, they gonna have you in debt. You got no cash to invest. You be gaining family members. Now when you practice success, you get a bag of success. You live in a vacuum at best. You are so stupid that you are my student. Now can you get back to your desk? You was believing the Elohim. Girl, you should have you a better dream. I was just smoking on every tree, and it was looking like evergreen. Yeah, I've been a pilot for plenty of flights, and you know I just might do a 9/11. I never limit if I'm pullable, you an actual, you catching this rocket heaven. You think the military, you ain't dance school, but I'm doing all kind of stepping. I need a minute and 30 if we gon' be real, my brother, that's 90 seconds, yeah. And for the lost trials, then I might create a blog time. But I ain't doing nothing like the mafia, Nigeria, only on prime time. Demon children always need a fall guy. Spring, summer, till it's spawn time. You be worshiping a whole bunch of names that you never got on the call line, yeah. Bitch, I'm at Chesapeake, flying around that chariot. In a spaceship or jet, my ginger Yuri, I'm a cherubim. I created the whole Western world cause you know I be Native American. Just because you are an Indian, they gonna decide to put you in the air again. We see the same kind of ages, but you know Australia created Aquarius. You got the mark of the beast on your hands at the end of the times of period. Then I see that's the fail there. 6 a.m. up in the morning. Don't give a fuck who you worship if you got me to tell me if you really want it. Yeah, anything we gon' be talking about, we'll be discussing it over a plan. DoelowDaPilotman came to this earth and I'm about to take over the land. No, I ain't talking about rail, no glasses, but you know I focus on bands. I'm about to go in the sky like homie while you about to go in the can. I came up straight out the river, the water gon' flood up and over the dam. I'm about to go and just shoot me a video, go just be holding the cam. They was just looking at Archangel Yuri, I'm saying you're only a man. I was just looking back at him and thinking you really was only our land. Yeah, you need a rocket just to stop me. I might just pop the Anunnaki. I'm coming like the Apache and Kamachi. Bitch, I'm Katana, walking Saka's copy. Bitch, I'm coming for you like the Terminator. Treat you just like a computer program and I'm about to delete it. Just terminate you cause I try to think about the never haters. I've been going through the worst drought. Every time I turn around, it's seeming like everything never worked out. I'm really starting to hate life. Nothing I do seem to take flight. I got a lot of haters that be blocking my shit and it really just ain't right. Yeah. Bitch, I'm at Chesapeake, flying around that chariot. In a spaceship or jet, my ginger Yuri, I'm a cherubim. I created the whole Western world cause you know I be Native American. Just because you are an Indian, they gonna decide to put you in the air again. You see the same kind of ages, but you know Australia created Aquarius. You got the mark of the beast on your hands at the end of the times of period. Then I see that's the fail there. 6 a.m. up in the morning. Don't give a fuck who you worship if you got me to tell me if you really want it.
Oh, bitch, hold on, cover that bitch. I'm the big old melting pot, bitch. I'm Mount Chesapeake. I'm the walking melting pot. That little big melting pottery bowl, you mix it in and stuff, big gumbo, the shit, I come out on top. You know what I'm putting in that? Shut down. If you go any further than that, you got all your information, pictures, everything from Briticana. Guaranteed you don't be knowing people be having biases, people be having their own starting point, people be having their own perception. You got to watch your mind right now. It don't go no further. It don't go no further. It don't go no. All right, now let's check this out. We're going to take it into the goddamn snow goose. Goddamn energy, so you can know what you experiencing with the go through foundations and stuff, how to farm and harvest on during this time mentally. Then they got the game sold up physically, so we're going to teach you how to do this mentally. It's the same thing. Check it out. You wouldn't even know how to do it physically if it wasn't in the mind first. Was it the as above, so below, holy circumstance, seeing the characteristics outside of you, then seeing it in the land, you wouldn't even know how to derive anything even called damn timing, farming, astronomy, astrology, metaphysicality, anime. You know what I'm saying? And really ain't got nothing to do with none of that shit. Ain't got nothing to do with no spooky shit, bitch. It's life. Anytime somebody try to flip something like it's spooky or something like that, you need to question them. Would they get ready to rock you to sleep about and make some tax dollars off of it? They say you gotta start thinking like that. You don't start thinking like that, you retarded. So I got a retarded miscellaneous goddamn melted kneecap for a brain. That. I'm saying get your brain together. Get your mind together. And I'm gonna put on that. Shout out to everybody in the chat too. Because we're going through a new time right now. Whole new shift. You know what I'm saying? So like I'm curious and I'm interested. And we don't know what it's necessarily going to be. So we got God.gov doing stuff. We got everybody in the regular world doing stuff right now. And we don't know if something being washed away or something being accumulated and replaced. We don't know yet. All we can do is just sit back, and just, read these energies. Hopefully you read these energies and you jump on a higher octave and you okay. If you don't read these energies, you wash up under the current, and you distracted, and 9 times out of 10, Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you Annie, are you okay? Annie, are you've been hit by a smooth criminal. Hey! Oh, sad. Get hit by a smooth criminal. No one knows what happens. You was just lost in some Coca-Cola can truck that somebody had to find. Oh, sad. All kind of stuff going on right now. Eddie, are you okay? These criminals is smooth in the 21st century. I'm going to tell you that right now if you ain't know no better yet. You ain't know no better yet. Criminal smooth as hell. Smooth as goddamn the baby oil they got P. Diddy with. Smooth as the goddamn baby oil they got P. Diddy with. You know what I'm saying? Put them together. Put the two to the root of to the put the two put it all together. You be okay, bitch. Happy Thanksgiving. Other than that, the hell with Thanksgiving. But yeah, like I said, all these energies we're going through right now, like I said, we got the moon get ready to go in Pisces in about 2 hours, if it ain't already, and things of that nature, or hour and a half, but it might be in there already, because you know what I'm saying, I just got it on how I've been on there all day and shit like that. It was already at 29 degrees, but for the most part, when the moon go into Pisces, or the wolf, aka don't cry wolf, because something outside of you don't be the same perception as what's in reality. You know what I'm saying? In some way, shape, or form, and you howling at the moon, or you might be looking in the water, and you might be one fish or the other, and you think one fish that was going in the promised land. As soon as the moon going to Pisces, you start to realize, nah, it's going off a cliff and a dam. Bars. You know what I'm saying? So you got to put yourself in a situation where you're like, okay, let me look back. All right, let me make sure I'm at the esoteric drawing board, and I ain't in no self-delusion. Delusion. So once you peep that game, you know what I'm saying, you're going to be in some situation like, all right, let me reevaluate, let me change out all the self-delusions, and let me replace it with the creative attributes, and let me start to act on it, because it's going to be a sextile energy eventually when I get to experience the opportunity if I'm on a lower octave or a higher octave based upon an outcome. But that opportunity will be there, and it will be filtered and structured through some cardinal earth energy. So anytime you start to exert some form of wanting to stabilize something, build something, looking at something that probably need to be torn down or rebuilt or restructure, or some ability that you could be used, or you could use something, not developing that misusing energy, but putting yourself in a position that you could be used or use something, and they got that same correspondence with it, or that equilibrium energy that you're not getting the short end of the stick when it comes to value, and and then you don't start to feel like you being misused when you was giving yourself up to be offered. Now, for the most part, when you put yourself in that energy, that's when you're going to start to see the opportunity that moon and Pisces is getting ready to exert, and it's going to exert whether you're in a delusion based upon what you start building, or whether you was in some flunked out ass goddamn false faith and belief. As soon as you start to build, and when you start to build and see that it's a false faith and belief, when you start to react and respond to the actual substance that moon and Pisces start to play out, that's when you're going to start to look at it like, damn, I was in some self-delusion, and this ain't something worth building, because it's going to put me more in foggy land. Then, if you're on a higher octave, you're going to be able to see the example of what you start to build when you start to exert that energy, and you're going to start to be like, ah, damn, this is creative. I didn't even see all the sides of this, or I didn't have the full faith, or I was unsure, or I didn't get the validation. And however that just filtered through for you to start to feel like you're starting to receive the validation is going to be representations of you being on a higher octave before this accumulation started to spark. So keep that in mind also. Now, if you're in a mundane situation, mundane is just going to put you in an attribute of, ain't nothing going on, negative or positive, and, that could be a good or a bad thing based upon everything has its own yin and yang. It could go good based upon you ain't involved in nothing and you ain't got to worry about no get back, and for the most part, you ain't putting no funky energy out there to be getting that back either. It can play out negatively if you in a spiritual frustrating space where you trying to get something moving and you ain't developed a purpose yet, or you ain't been putting no esoteric work in or putting no back pockety energy in. Yet ain't nothing going on, even negative either. Yet your spirit gonna put yourself into a circumstance that it don't matter what it experience, something negative or positive, as long as it got something to do with what it wants to experience now, to get out of a motherfucking cage that it may be in, to feel smothered and frustrated to a certain degree. So that's gonna be the energy that when it comes into if you're on a lower octave side of it, on the mundane side of it, you know what I'm saying, and ain't nothing going on, you know what I'm saying, based upon if you tired of nothing going on, or if you appreciate that time because you've been experiencing previously too much shit going on and now just feel like you're getting a sense of break, you know what I'm saying. But everything has a yin and yang polarization to it and things of that nature when you look into the senses of it, so understand that too. Now when it gets into Mercury being in Sagittarius, or the owl, it's going to be a square, but they both going to be based on the same depositor, which is Jupiter. Jupiter is in a debilitated space and it's in retrograde, which is in Gemini. So it's going to make everybody feel like they're in some situation where they need to gain more wisdom and knowledge, aka the depositor, Jupiter, but the way that they utilize it and try to get it is going to be through the form of a debilitation. You thinking that you need to receive some more information or gossip or think more, and you might overanalyze something that you need to go ahead and do and take action towards to get up out of. Or you may receive or give some wrong information that make a situation even worse, and then the outcome of the experience feel like you more in a cage other than expansion energy. So it can play out like that also. But when it comes into your emotional space and the way you think and communicate, both of these things is going to be geared towards what you can expand on or what you need to escape out of, and your way of going about it may be debilitated because Jupiter itself is in Gemini. So keep that in mind. You're going to be emotionally motivated, and it was going to be on your mind. Emotionally motivated, moon in Pisces, what's on your mind and what you start thinking about and analyzing, what you think you need to start communicating about. Mercury in Sagittarius, and remind you, Mercury is debilitated in Sagittarius also. So even how you formulate something to even, make it before it even come out your mouth, that might be a little bit debilitated. You might think it made sense in your mind, but when it received in somebody else's mind, they might be like, God damn it, you don't make no goddamn sense, and you putting everything on spookism to a certain degree. So you got to be careful of that too. You know what I'm saying? That you don't be seen as a person that's piggybacking everything off their morality, spiritual system, or their religion to make something make sense out of something that ain't even got nothing to do with that. You know what I'm saying? You might be late for work, get ready to get fired or some shit. You get ready to talk about, well, my damn, I just went to church last night and God told me something, this, that, and the third, and the spiritual system, and then that's why I didn't wake up when the alarm went off, and I probably forgot to put it on. Bullshit. Your ass is overslept. God ain't got nothing to do with that. Holy Spirit ain't got nothing to do with that. Muhammad, Jesus Christ ain't got nothing to do with that. And shit, just you and your mental illness got everything to do with that. But here's where you start talking and babbling, aka Gemini energy, filter through that Jupiter energy about spiritual morality and shit like that, and it ain't gonna make sense to the circumstance that you're dealing with, aka your manager deciding if they should fire your ass or not. You know what I'm saying? So it's gonna be that kind of situation. So I got to peep game a little bit, just a little bit, so you can help you understand what's going on right now. You're gonna be steered and directed into some Jupiter energy, and Jupiter is debilitated due to the fact of you thinking it's the right thing to do because of the depositors, aka Moon in Pisces and Mercury in Sagittarius. So keep that in mind. You know what I'm saying? You're already thinking about a whole bunch of holy excuses right now with Mercury being in Sagittarius. And when the moon going to Sagittarius, when the moon going to Pisces, you're going to be making up all kind of emotional excuses why it's the right feeling, why you're comfortable with this, why it's the right thing to do, or whatever the case may be. That might be purely in La La Land where Michael Jackson at, and rest in peace to the old La La Native Americans, and shout out to the ones that's still here. You know what I'm saying? Things of that nature. And it might be a whole bunch of circumstance that puts you in a situation where you in La La Land and then you start to think about it on your mind like it makes sense, and then you go get a little bit of information that probably ain't got nothing to do with it. You only can see it through the lens of what you try to make it make sense with, and then that's going to be the debilitation of Jupiter and Gemini, and then you're going to think it's the right decision because of the depositors, what made you feel right and what was on your mind, aka Mercury and Sagittarius, Moon and Pisces, and then that's when you get flunked out with some squared up energy, a 90-degree angle that gets you frustrated when you thought you was getting led into the right decision. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. So that's how planets can trick you also, little stars and energies, spaceships, the 7 cycles. That's how they can trick you when one interlaps with another one, and you know, two may be in good terms and both may have a depositor that's in negative terms, but the negative look like it's a route you're supposed to go. So Jupiter being in Gemini look like it's a route you're supposed to go that ultimately may make a mistake. So keep that in mind. It ain't good to receive too much information, take too much advice, or give too much advice. Let people kind of learn on their own, or you know, kind of take it with a grain of salt, or know how to cherry pick real good when you are receiving information. That way it'll protect you. Just because something sound like it may be the right way, sound like they're telling you 4 + 4 equals goddamn it 7, and the way that they say it may sound good and things of that nature. You gotta wait, hold on, let me just cherry pick 4 + 4, let me leave a 7 aside. You know what I'm saying? Therefore you'll be able to realize, oh, it's 8. So that kind of situation, you know what I'm saying? It might be somebody throw some money at you or something like that to convince you. So all those are distracting you. Wait a minute, 4 + 4 might be 7. You know what I'm saying? Because if this person's saying it and they got this money and they can put me in this position and they do, you know what I'm saying? You get lost in all those things and start fighting all those things and stuff like that to somebody like me come around and tell you, wait a minute, you just retarded. That ain't had nothing to do with God, nothing to do with the Great Spirit, nothing to do with nothing. Something you was lost in and expected, and that ain't had nothing to do with nothing. Somebody offered you a check. So you get back on the boat. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta start thinking like that too and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. You gotta tell that smack monkey slap nuts. 4 + 4 = 8. I said 4 + 4 = 8. You talking about? I said no. My master told me a 7 because this works over here and I made this much money over here and I got this badge and I went to college this long and shit like. So what? You wasted your life. No, I said, oh, you wasted your life in a lie. And all in front of that, you got the thoughts of a woman. And all in front of that, that's not facts. So you went off everything that's not facts. That wasn't facts. The only thing that was fact checked was that check. Your check might have been fact, but shit, sooner or later it's gonna be a shift. No matter if you became Neil deGrasse or not, somebody gonna come in the world and say you're retarded. It don't matter how I go. It don't matter how I go. You know what I'm saying? You just stay back pocketed up. That's it. You know what I'm saying? You'll let indoctrinations rock you to sleep with an arrow inside your mind at 3 years old. Then you start to get older, forget everything that you were supposed to put a back pocket of energy in and shit like that. And then now you lost in the sauce. And you somewhere believing Neil deGrasse. So you got to peep game. Now, for the most part, like I said, we also going to have this little sextile energy between Uranus and the moon. So it's going to give us some opportunity to be able to see the Stargate or an experience to develop some new way of doing something, or taking our creativity and making it fixated that we can start to feel comfortable with it, and then it can start to have that look of Uranus. It's look like it's changing and rebelling and opposing against something that's outdated, and it's starting to be putting you in the position that you could be the face of something that's new, unique, and original. You know what I'm saying? And it's going to be back and supported by a new, unique, or original way of making money, substantiating yourself, being fixated in the quality, even if it's not duplicating money yet. It look promising. It look like it's something that can be done. And even if someone is in a better position than you, they will be able to look at you other than other individuals to start that. So for the most part, these would be energies that we all got to not be scared about to try new things. You know, this is a time that you got to not be scared to try new things. You know what I'm saying? You might look at certain things that you're doing or other people doing and see that as similar than previous things, but don't forget, it ain't what we do, is how we do it. So how you do it is the new thing. And don't let previous ways of how it was done, you know, discourage you or distract you from you adding in a new template to an old cookie jar. You know what I'm saying? Therefore, you know, this takes us into this concept. Once upon a time, it may have been only chocolate chip, and then someone else put peanut butter cookie in there. Then once upon a time, it was on those two. Somebody put raisin in there. Then somebody put oatmeal in there. You know what I'm saying? And once you look at it from a distance, now we got multiple different type of cookies and things of that nature that could be in the goddamn cookie jar. But, you know, you could have been in a cookie jar and only seen chocolate chip or peanut butter, you know, made and things of that nature, or macadamia. And then for the most part, you send someone somewhere like, all right, well, damn, I just need to figure out how to make new chocolate chips better. I need to figure out how to make new peanut butter better and things of that nature. But it ain't what we do, is how we do it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, what we doing, we might all be making cookies. We might all be cooking some good ass grandma cookies and things of that nature, right? But shit, how do you do your recipe? Is there soul food around it? Is you stressed out when you're doing yours? Do you know how to make up a new recipe and things of that nature? You know what I'm saying? Good old other batches of sugar and all the things that they put together and shit, and the cookie dough and shit. Do you know how to flip another shit? Boom, you make some whole new goddamn cookie. You know what I'm saying? So don't get discouraged just because you think it's a cookie jar and there's already cookies in it and things of that nature. That's the end all and be all. No, you can go produce a new cookie, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Bro, shit. So always look at it like that. It ain't what we do, is how we do it. Always pay more attention to how you're doing it and things of that nature. Now you're doing it for God. It's a will, and it ain't necessarily back to supported by expectation. And that's the devil. Because when it's back to supported by expectation, a lot of times you're trying to do something that's already safe. AKA, if it's only chocolate chip and peanut butter, you know, you feel like if you was to even go trying to think of a new creative mix or something like that, it's going to be retarded, or however the case may be. So your level of intelligence is going fighting logic with logic. Well, let me just make a better chocolate chip. You know, a lot of people may have done that before you and things of that nature. And yeah, it may be safe. You may could even look at examples of people who made peanut butter and chocolate chip better than the previous person that made a lot more money. A lot of safe routes, a lot of safe roads. You know what I'm saying? You may have even seen a lot of other people that even dared to make something other than a chocolate chip cookie. It ain't what we do, is how we do it. You can make a chocolate chip cookie or make another type of treat, but at the same time, you might have seen people even dare to do that and got rocks thrown at them and stuff. Everybody said, what is that and shit like that. So you got a bunch of examples in front of you that you could duplicate and start to make negative and discouraging. But if you fight through that and things of that nature and be like, that ain't me, now you having a divine feminine and the divine masculine, your ego and the divine feminine, aka your emotional intelligence. So for the most part, you're able to sit back and react and respond to all the other external representations from a masculine perception of where you're signaling your direction of energy towards, right? And let's say we making cookies at this moment. So you're able to see all the ups and downs, the success and the mistakes from other people who have brought their inside outwardly and made it external. Boom. Now you could use your internal energy to build up courage with the masculine energy. Like, okay, that don't necessarily mean it has to be the same outcome from all the possibilities, negative and positive, that I see from me. So now you're carving up your own masculine, male or female. You're taking your emotional intelligence, your divine feminine, and now you're getting ready to carve up your actual divine masculine, which is your ego, but it's going to be in a healthy manner. And when you blend both of those things together, you become a phoenix. One of a kind in an area that it seemed like it ain't what we do, is how we do it, but how you did it was one of a kind. You see what I'm saying? So the cookie or the snowflake that you made, or the sand piece, or the goddamn blade of grass that you made was one of a motherfucking kind in that bitch, right? So you sat back, emotionally got intelligent, divine feminine, and then you start to see all the ups and downs of what was possible. Then you utilize your masculinity to be able to get rid of that emotion that'll make you not do it and things of that nature, and carve out this new external representation that was never seen there, yet a cookie that was never in that jar before. Yet it ain't what we do, is how we do it. But who says your cookie gonna have the same outcome as someone else who tried to make a new cookie and they got disowned? So for the most part, boom, once you get all those curriculums up, learn all the ins and out, then you presented your shit there, so it got a little bit of everything that's there and a little piece of something new, God that's there. So you brought a piece of God here, aka when you was in peace, God is the all, the great spirit. You was in that piece of space, develop a piece of characteristics from there to be able to bring down here. So you brought a piece of God down here. So when you do something for God, God do something for you, right? When you bring a piece of God down here, God, what matters to you, actually turn into actual matter, and it looks like an actual representation that's tangible, or a presence or energy or a space you could be in, a position or a feeling or a thought that's actual. You can actually point at it and be like, damn, this is a sense of peace. You know what I'm saying? And then therefore, even if everything around you look like it's going to hell and turmoil, you'll still have that sense of peace, even if it ain't tangible. So God do something for you when you do something for God. You know what I'm saying? And that's how that works. So you brought a new piece of something down here for God, and God made you the face of something that was new down here. New box of Famous Amos chocolate chip cookies and shit like that. Hopefully nobody done stole it and got more tax money off of it than you. You know what I'm saying? And that's where it goes at. And that's where it ends. And if you don't know where you're going, you don't know where you come from. You come from the person who make up the recipe. You need to know that. You don't come from the person who's just reading the recipe book. So for the most part, once you put yourself in that position, now you know how to value your creative gift, your spark, and what may be coming to you that don't look familiar in the world at the moment, but it looked like whatever you got, it looked like it could be participant. It looked like it could be part. It looked like it could be plignase. It looked like it could be attached to it, or some case may be. Now you just need to be a strong spirit to care enough to be the face of it, because a lot of people don't want to be the face of their own creativity that God gave them. Pardon me. So a lot of times you will give away what God gave you to some individuals that they go the way that as far as you were supposed to go with it, without having the other intelligence of how you develop that thing in the first place, or God would have gave it to them in the first place, and they probably wouldn't even been bothered with you to even try to go some far with it. So for the most part, that'd just be you looking at them, God putting them in a position to show you made a mistake, giving them some energy that they don't know how to handle, get ready to crash. You may not never be able to get that energy again. So for the most part, appreciate whatever God give you, even if it don't seem like it's part of the world at the moment. You here, ain't you? And it's in your mind, ain't you? It's here. Get to work, bitch. You know what I'm saying? Get to work. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, that's how these energies work. Now, we also going to have a conjunction between Neptune. I mean, not Neptune. Well, yeah, Neptune and goddamn Saturn when it comes into the moon. So we're going to be heavily reacting and responding to our responsibilities, how we gain structure in our lives, our foundations, our money, our material, you know what I'm saying, our boundaries, if these things are being crossed or not from individuals and shit. These are going to be the main focuses, and you're going to be able to see if you was in a delusion or getting taken advantage of in these energies or not, due to the fact of it's crossing over Neptune also. Now, if you're a person that don't like the truth, and these truths a lot of times don't even play out through words, it play out through you just being aware of something, and you knowing that you was too deep into something, or you made a mistake about something, right? Once it start to go over these energies, a lot of times it may be certain things that you don't even want to let go because of the harsh truth. You might start looking at it like, well, no, I don't want to see it no other way, and I need to still prove it this way, or in some case may be. Whether that's a relationship, a circumstance, or a situation that you know is abusive. You know it's abusive, and right now you're starting to become more aware, like, damn, this ain't right. I can look at my auntie relationship. I can look at my friend relationship. I can look at my job. I can look at their relationships. They're not necessarily going through exactly what I'm going through, and I'm trying to cover that shit up in some way, shape, or form. Let me stop that. Like, these are that type of energies, like real awakening to know shit that you know that you might be doing, that you wasn't privy to knowing how other people was possibly able to think about it until now, due to the fact that the moon get ready to shift into Pisces, and it going over Saturn, because that's in Pisces, and goddamn Neptune also. So it's going to show you the harsh reality of something that may have been a false, foggy delusion for you. And it's going to force you to gain emotional gratification with it. Whether we go through a situation and you're on a higher octave, and that's a positive thing, or it's a negative thing because you're on a lower octave, and it might start playing out through your relationships, or your job, or your circumstance, or the way that you feel about something that you was doing, that you was so invested into one angle of it, you wasn't really able to expand your mind broad enough to know that there's other angles that other people may see, that it doesn't necessarily reach that potential you're convinced with. And that's probably another reason why, you know what I'm saying, it's in limbo. And all those energies is going to be what you're looking at to try to see how to put it back on track, or how to separate from false delusions and shit like that. Especially when it comes to you know, even people that you network with, and things of that nature on your day-to-day basis and stuff like that, especially in business and shit. You know, and this is Saturnalia time, you know, so it may be a lot of shutdown moments, and you might be thinking you're getting lied to, and you might be getting lied to, but the person who lied to you, they might have got lied to, and that's like a whole trickle down system, to the point that the person that's lying to them just ain't ready to get up and do anything, because they probably celebrating Saturnalia a whole month, Janus circumstance. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta keep that in mind too. And you could be in some type of business, celebrity, or whatever the case, and was promised something, and now it's slowed up, and you get ready to over exaggerate and try to meet up at people and cut your lawyer out and meet up at people's addy and stuff like that in houses, and be retarded and shit, like everybody crashing out right now. So be careful of that too. You know what I'm saying? So it's a lot of when the moon going into Pisces, try not to be out and about in the world based upon your beliefs also. You know what I'm saying? Your beliefs can get you in trouble right now. Get you in some weird situation. You see how everybody getting ran over right now. You know what I'm saying? So be careful of trying to go out and celebrate certain things, because it's always two polar shifts to that. You might be on the polar shift of going to these locations and churches and shit like that because you in a positive vibe. Then you got people out here that's in these same vibrations, but based upon what the same, y'all quote unquote same God didn't do for them, quote unquote, them not having no parents or parents getting killed or goddamn shit and things of that nature, and that being the last thing that was taught to them. So that's the main thing they rebelling against. And when they see everybody have a communion in any kind of capacity, it make them go look at their M16s, Metal Gear Solid, Gears of War, goddamn Call of Duty guns and stuff like that. That Lord knows how they even got their hands on these things and stuff like that. And therefore, we got situations like that going on. So when the moon is in Pisces, you could be in your delusion. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, I want to get up and celebrate. And someone else could be in their very same delusion, Pisces shit. Yeah, they want to get up and destroy everybody that's celebrating the shit that never came and helped them and stop them from being in poverty and shit. You see what I'm saying? Like, shit, it's simple shit like that. So y'all to be careful and shit like that. And everything ain't God.gov. Not everything. Trust me, I know. I spent many times throughout the years I've been online, and I chose to get offline, not even because of God.gov, and dealt with real people and was like, no, there's a retarded sickness in the world in general. You know what I'm saying? That ain't got nothing to do with God.gov, the Great Spirit, or nothing. That's a real thing. You know what I'm saying? So, like, sometimes you got to get out of fogginess sometimes, too, because being online a lot can cloud your judgment sometimes too. Even my judgment been clouded a lot of times and shit. Then there's times I'm like, man, fuck all this shit. I'm about to go in the real world. Met the same retardation. So it's like, wait a minute. Like, let me reevaluate this. Let me reevaluate. You know what I'm saying? Like, trust me. Trust me. Yeah, it'd be people you know, they probably sometimes even barely got access to internet and stuff like that. So you know, no, this is their own volition. They was born this way. I said, you could take it a step further or something like that. Be like, maybe it's witchcraft in the hospital or something like that. Maybe God.gov sent a group of Masons, sons of Lucifers or something like that to do some ritual over the heart. Maybe something, but then now you're getting pseudo. You know what I'm saying? Then at that point, you're going to start getting pseudo at some point and got to start realizing, some people in this world, and not just some, a little bit larger on a percentage scale, is just born retarded. You got to think. You gotta think sometimes. You will save your life. You will save your motherfucking life. Real shit. You will save your fucking life. Trust me, I have. I got stories to tell. I wouldn't have no 4,000 videos that I could just remix that and make it into teaching qualities because I'm smart in other areas. That wouldn't exist if I don't got stories, bitch. It's real shit. Motherfucking eons in this bitch. Said, you think people just born with sauce? Said, shout out to Gucci, man. You think you just born with the sauce? No, you got to acquire the sauce. I said, you have to acquire it and shit like that. Real shit. Yeah, many dealings with retards and reprobates. I said, you develop it though. The more you dealt with, the earlier, the faster you get intelligent. The faster you become intelligent though. And that's for all energies. The sooner the better. You know, lost in something, the sooner you get out of it, the better. All that time. Y'all flunked out jobs, everything. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. It's a deep game out here, deep world out here. And if you don't know how to peep game, you'll get lost in the sauce, man. And you'll be on your deathbed. And then that's where your whole life flashes before your eyes. You ain't even about to die yet, though. It's everything I wish I shoulda, coulda. I said, oh, man, you don't want none of them resentments. You don't want none of them deep resentments and goddamn it, formations and stuff developing on your mind before you go. You don't want that. I'm telling you, you don't want that. That's hell 101, first class ticket with gasoline draws on. This is hell cooled off a little bit. It's still the fire. Go as a spirit and jump in your gut. Because you could do that. You could jump in your different chakras and jump into the organs and go live it out and start to realize, damn, I be having dreams here. And that's a world itself. That's a real thing if you know how to do that. You know what I'm saying? I even think the white man got a name for that. I think the white man was studying Native Americans or something like that. Because that's a real thing. You could do that. Even when I be teaching y'all, that's how you go to You go to that chakra, that bend in and make the most blood flow for that specific organ. This is how I be healing. That's why I don't think I only got pancreatitis no more. I just got my hernia now. Just got my straining ass hernia now. I used to be sick for like 7 days, 2 weeks and shit like that. If I'm sick now, it's only like probably a couple hours. It used to be, it slowed down at 1 or 2 days, and that slowed down. A couple hours now. Y'all see me going live 2-3 times a day. See, people who've been watching me for a long time notice those little things. You know, people who just watch every now and then, don't give a fuck about me all like that and shit like that. People I ain't really connected to. So, you know, just y'all know the strangers who just come and go. They don't understand it like that. But people who've been watching me for a minute probably realize like, Dad, that is right. And shit like that. Remember, I used to always be swollen. I'm saying, my blood calcified, puffy face and stuff like that, extra dark and stuff, like a whole different person and shit like that. It's just sick. Shit. Then you get the shit not flushing through the way it's supposed to flush through and shit, and having to yeah, but I have to get that shit running again and shit like that, and start putting y'all in every time I risen up and process, even without even fully teaching it. I still was throwing stuff out there. Like I always throw out vitamins to y'all, slight stuff to do, when to wake up, what mind space to be in. That's all the stuff that's after the fact. These be things I'll be developing along the way. You know what I'm saying? And then I have to see it work for 3-6 months. I'm one of them type of person. I ain't know, like, I don't know how y'all be reading other Aries and stuff like that. I'm a consistent Aries. Maybe just because I'm not another type of ethnicity or something like that people just cling on and be like, oh, Aries don't finish things, or it's shit. Yeah, that must be just a bloodline thing or something like that. Because you could be any zodiac and be for the 1, 2 and be spiritual and shit like that. Because sometimes they even chalk it up to make it seem like all the earth signs, which would be Capricorn, Virgo, and Tauruses. They chalk it up to make it seem like the element don't make them spiritual. No, that's wrong. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, we all do the same thing. It ain't what we do, it's how we do it. It's just filtered through the way the element play out. Earth signs would be way more spiritual than the mother. Tell you the truth, a lot of earth signs know how to make money way more off of goddamn their religion and shit like that than the average motherfucker who want to sit around and preach on the corner all motherfucking day. Let an earth sign, let a motherfucking Taurus or a goddamn Virgo and Capricorn really get deep in that motherfucking shit. You ain't no way you get ready to tell yourself or anybody else, because you in astrology, you more spiritual than that motherfucking earth sign. Hell fucking no. You know what I'm saying? Real shit. Now, don't get me wrong. You can't come around earth signs that be like, man, fuck all that shit. It's about the world. It's about this, or it's about this, that, and the third. But they always have those qualities that still spring to spirituality anyway, because they're part of an element. It's just their way of doing it. The way the world have fixated some subjective concept of religion may not have a lot of those qualities with it. So you'll even get rooted into thinking that if you're extremely religious, you ain't even supposed to like money or something like that. And that'd be a quality that an earth sign. And let's say the earth sign is in a world where people try to force religion extremely and separate qualities even beyond money. But let's use that as an example. You will look at the earth sign like, oh, they ain't spiritual then because they care more about that. No, you just into a synthetic version of something and shit. They got nothing to do with none of that. The actual earth quality that they're doing is spiritual. It's just focused on what was made as something that's other people trying to demonize, but in secret making the most of anyway and shit like that. Some weirdo shit the God.gov always doing. Always doing some reverse psychology shit. Hey, you can't, I can. Hey, do as I say, not as I do type shit. You know what I'm saying? Do as I say. Just vote whatever like that. Don't do as I do. Could buy a whole city and state and name it after me. Hey, don't do it. You going too far now. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm feeling that? So that's God.gov circumstances, situations, shit like that. Y'all gotta understand. But back the natural way, how all ethnicities on their land supposed to look at it, or I don't know if it's just all native, and the white man took it, but it's the best intelligent way of how to look at life, because it is life. So the land is the motherland, right? But let's say everybody on that land create a thought to go by. Right? That becomes the external father. All y'all as children is upholding the father. So that becomes father breath. And all y'all supposed to be up under the longhouse. How the natives did it. We all family. All shades of Native American phenotypes. Right? Put it into a situation where no matter the different tribe and language, this is how we was able to have kingship and even understand each other. Because it was more clean on the body language too. But then the dialect was still similar. And then for for the most part, that one thought we all play out microly become the holy, holy, holy external representation of Father's breath. And that idea is what mother is married to, the environment. So the atmosphere is the father, the environment is mother. Now, the white man learned that knowledge from us. Hey, don't get me wrong, they had a lot of their shit too. It ain't, a lot of shit is plagiarized that I say they copy, and a lot of shit is just copy. But the plagiarized shit is shit that they brought with themselves and try to just destroy our version of it to be theirs. That's the plagiarized concepts. This is where you get all the native hobbyism from. And then you get the straight copying shit too, though. Like the rituals, the ceremonies, the concepts of looking at the sky and stuff like that. You see what I'm saying? But they took that, and then that's how they created their little doctrine of discovery. And the doctrine of discovery is the law term, but it's backed and supported by something that don't have anything to do with anything real. Like the things that they try to say to Native Americans shouldn't consider the way we look at the land, and our way of owning it with kingship ain't real. But we all doing the same thing, and ain't what we do is how we do it. That's what the white man always be having to come to grips with. So they always have to like throw their rock, hide their hand, realize they're wrong, and just come to these type of arguments where our way of life is better. But they know they never could really make sense out of what they first always tried to make sense with the Old Testament. So the New Testament is just based upon them updating it, interacting with the Native Americans and mixing it with more moral honor because of our spiritual system over here. And they know once upon a time when everything was smooth, we made everybody want to live our lifestyle. The foreigners that was bringing here with them before colonizing was looked at as negative. It was a job to help build when they were settling, and them marrying in with us and stuff like that. Our way of even dealing with marriage and shit like that, right? It wasn't really marriage. It was like tribalism that attracted them. Because remember, on their mind, they're running away from a problem that they already having with their own people and creating colorism shit with they dark and light shit and coming over here and then anything new, even the people over here. Ooh, let's learn this. It wasn't always we're coming to invade. No, that wasn't how it started. It became that when we start to fight over our ways of life. So for the most part, they got that idea, and they had a similar idea. So their discovery of doctrine, they created something that don't even make sense, manifested destiny. So that gave them the will to say their discovery of doctrine is true. Whatever land that they discover, they have a doctrine saying that they're allowed to take that land because of all the stuff that they went through as far as dying of hunger, becoming sick and stuff like that. And you'll get lost into that too. You'll do some research and think that the sickness that they brought over here, they were sick too. No, the sickness they brought over here is the same thing they was creating with them, all the other shit in 300 years later to now. And this started from the 1400s, but the sicknesses started in the late 1500s, middle 1600s to the 1700s, and them just getting crafty with it. So y'all get COVID-19s and shit like that, and make you think that there's a reason to shoot something in your blood. This is a little docile ways to do it, but back in the day, it was just this is what we doing. Oops. And let's change history. Oh, we was just sick when we came over there. Okay. Oh, sad. Other than that, I love America. I love America, bro. I love it, because that makes us the strongest. We the strongest. We the strongest melting pot. I'm saying real shit. But other than that, yeah. You know what I'm saying? All those energies and stuff like that was, you know, the father is that. So the white man kind of looked at it like this. Well, yo, I'm gonna fuck this bitch, and this bitch is mine. That's when phallic religion start to get heavy, and cosplaying as Native Americans, aka the 1700s concept of what we got today as Freemasonry and things of that nature, worshiping the eyeball and decapitating the heads off of Native Americans and castrating them and hanging them on crosses. All the practices that they did to the Native Americans that started fighting back for the land is all the Masonic practices. So it's the templates that they create too to have all the other ethnicities running up under. And one of the main reasons they exclude Native Americans from everything, unless we whitewashed, or you get a Native American that already got a lot of European blood in them and stuff like that. So these are the only ones who are going to be in directors and stuff like that, because back in the day, those was the only ones who was in the military that they was allowing to auction war things through, like chief corn planter and stuff like that. Once you start to become like the Mohawks, Mohicans, the Catawbas, Mache, and all that goddamn shit, we was getting whitewashed. We had to blend mix with them. You know what I'm saying? We don't mix with them, then for the most part you get genocide, or you get put in a reservation or urban area, or get spread it out and mix with everybody they bringing over here in some way, shape, or form. And hopefully you lose enough of your language and your history. You know what I'm saying? So that's what that's about, and shit like that too. You know what I'm saying? But so every rapper, every actor, and stuff like that is doing a Native American template and stuff like that. Like you either like a rapper, they have them even either doing some Comanche, Apache shit, crazy horse shit, Geronimo shit. Probably have them doing some little bighorn shit. I mean, Sitting Bull shit or something like that. East Coast rappers, they have y'all up under something that's dealing with the Iroquois, which is the Haudenosaunee, the Haudenosaunee tribes and things of that nature. And that became the 6th, then the 7 tribes and things of that nature, and that spread it out to the Ohio's, that little bit parts that's mixed here, and I'm mixed with too, Seneca and his goddamn shit, or it ain't even called that though. But for the most part, you know, that set up shop here, that a lot of y'all probably have a lot of y'all 2nd or 3rd grandmothers in, have that in y'all, or 4th or 5th, or some of y'all not at all. You know what I'm saying? But it's still here. You know, it can still be your mother. And so I'm just saying, for y'all that's lost and just mixed up with a whole bunch of shit, Irish, you know what I'm saying, Jamaican, all kind of Arab, you know what I'm saying? It's a lot of mixture that they did at the beginning when they dumped a lot of Arabs over here, replaced a lot of Native Americans to the west, and made us go to India and Africa also. And then the West Indies, like, they were spreading the Native Americans everywhere. They was doing us dirty. Then, for the most part, making other people who could work for cheap. When colonization before was slavery, it was a job. You know what I'm saying? Rosa Parks, no, not Rosa Parks, who was putting on the railroad track, she had a job. That was a job. So when y'all hear, when other ethnicities, especially African Americans, when y'all hearing about things like she was making people escape, yeah, y'all was building a railroad track that the Pilgrim Man was helping, and y'all was escaping, bringing people to the new world where you could get jobs. This was they was doing. Like, when y'all hear things in the Bible, you're going to be promised this amount of virgins or whatever like that. This is what the white man was telling the China man, African American man, the Jamaican man, for them to get on a boat. It wasn't them putting a sword at y'all to tell y'all to get on a boat. That's why you get a lot. That's why y'all realizing Moors are sellouts now and a lot of stuff. These people wasn't in danger. These people was openly being taught a practice that the white man was taking, cosplaying, and having their own type of Old Testament shit and developing some New Testament shit that could put everybody on a mental slave shit, right? So slavery became to be when other ethnicities started complaining and started not being sufficient in these areas that was laid to them, like being college teachers, being in the military. You know what I'm saying? Y'all started needing more assistance and not wanting to do other things. And here's what they did. They never stopped migration. They never stopped that. That's how it always was. I don't understand why y'all don't get that. I think a lot of y'all phenotypes and starting points that start in the 1800s. That's why. So y'all only want to start there, not understanding that starting point come from something. You know what I'm saying? Then the 1700s started. It's always a 300-year cycle. So the white men only know how to go as far as the 1400s, because before that, they was busy with themselves. You see what I'm saying? And creating their own monarchy for them to get to that stage to make themselves think, oh, we superior. So I'm saying, so that was a 300-year process, and everybody was able to do that. So when you even go to 900 years ago, right? This is how the Iroquois is even getting developed from the early stages of the first Native Americans and things of that nature that was there, that led into before the like in the 1500s, 1400s, you're getting the tear down of that 300-year period and those Native Americans, and then with the Iroquois had to start to learn how to do with certain medicine men and certain, different tribes coming on kayaks from different areas, especially on the East Coast through the Great Lakes areas, and passing on the spirit of what they need to do, or you're going to fall like your ancestors or the previous spirits that your family, that we're too busy fighting each other. And this is even allowing, if we're in a situation where we're seeing other people come in and settle, we don't necessarily have to always agree with what they're doing all the time, due to the fact of why we always in our own personal fights. And at this time, it was in a position where there's still more Native Americans here than settlers. So the settler is not necessarily a problem. Look at it like that. Like if all the white men in Europe and you trying to invade Europe, but you ain't invading yet. You're just coming over there and settling and everything cool. It's still more of them than you. So you're not necessarily, if all Europe's having fights with themselves, they're not really giving a fuck about you at the moment as an issue. You know what I'm saying? Yet you're having your own problem still of and how things is being torn down and they could be better. You get what I'm saying? So there's a lot of things that the Native Americans was doing to themselves. We was doing to ourselves and shit like that. To even build that concept where we can have a government and run multiple nations where it's like 20 to 25, 30,000 people included. 20 different, all these tribes included without a telephone. Without no telephone on cars. Man, that was cold to the white man. Like the white man used to sit back and be like, man, what would the Iroquois do? And then on the other end, we got the Great Plains. And then that's when you get to all the other tribes and how they did it their way. There was a trickling system we had down. But as the white man started to crush us in and stuff like that, it also became different relationships too. And then a lot of times, you know, in the Great Plains area, they used to make a lot of movies to even allow the Great Lakes Native Americans and white man up there to be able to watch, to be able to know, so we can know what's going on in the Great Plains through the Great Lakes and things of that nature. So that's where a lot of those movies used to come about too and shit like that, because a lot of people will get confused and be like, especially Aboriginals, they have retarded conversations like, oh, they try to convince everybody that it was about cowboys and Indians, and the Indians wasn't the Indians or something. The people like is mixing up times and stuff like that. The Indian and the cowboy time, that's the time that the United States of Cavalry first got it constructed. So we talk about the first early stages of masonry being constructed and shit. That shit was real. And General Custer and shit like that. That's them real events. That's real shit. What y'all, even and those shits took place before what y'all be trying to say didn't happen. Like, I don't get, but I understand what the white man did. The white man fucked everybody's shit up because he mixed everybody up. Everybody confused. So you can't even really throw shade at nobody. But so shout out to all the Aboriginals and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Can't really, the white man fucked us all up. Fucked everybody up. You know what I'm saying? But just think more about timing. Things happen in time frames. Not you saying something happened in the 1800s, and then when you watch a cowboy movie based on the 1700s or something like that, but it was made in the 1800s, you get confused and be like, oh, that didn't happen. And then you'll be like, because in the 1800s this happened. And whatever the directors is talking about, they upholding their grandfather, they great uncles. This is real shit to them. Like, what the fuck are you talking about? It's like real shit on the native side and the white man side. Man, this is real shit. That ain't no erasing of history that could be done with that. That's part of America. That's part of how America was built. That's part of America. A lot of these cities, a lot of these buildings y'all see, go to the cornerstone. If you understand how America was built, you will even understand stuff like that. Go to your city hall. Go to the cornerstone brick. You will see the year it was made. It'll say 1809. You know what I'm saying? 1827 and stuff like that. Okay, that's after shit, man. White man and went on ahead and dropped his dick and shit and took over. At that point, you know what I'm saying? And started to do other shit and genocide and all that shit. You know what I'm saying? Y'all, then all that shit, y'all start talking about, start happening. But we talking about, I mean, you could just go to the damn cornerstone of a building, go a Mason Lodge, the Catholic church on the side of it, and then a city hall downtown, and go towards the east and go look at all the cornerstone, and it tell you the damn year, bitch. I put them in my damn music videos. I'm giving y'all Wild Wild West history in my damn music video. I ain't need how Hype Williams to do that. My mind already know what to go look for. You know what I'm saying? I've been here many and many of times. I know how America was built. This motherfucker shit. I don't need no director ever. You know what I'm saying? And my videos got more American history than any weak-ass American rapper. And they don't even know what they be doing a lot of times. They be cosplaying like a lot of times. Don't even know. Anytime you run in some woods, get ready to get killed, multiple different ethnicities going against, about to go get one female on a bed or something like that, and she's just so happened to have a cowboy hat, some fringes on, cowboy leather leggings or jeans or some cowgirl boots or something, just so happened for her to have that, two braids or some twisty or a bun or something like that, some big old earring. Oh, I said something like, but you get confused because it be through the lens of your ethnicity. So you just think, oh, this person is successful. Oh, Beyonce had the best performance ever. Ain't nothing but a whole bunch of white men sitting back making people run off Native American templates. That's literally what their industry is. Industries. They're in the Native American trees. That's literally what it is. Like, literally. Don't think that's not what it is. No, that's literally every white man don't know how to come up with nothing else. White man don't even know how to remember some success they did. Get rid of Native Americans and being able to control them now. Y'all getting this through the way the white man looked at it as taxes. Okay, we created a father to take over their woman. Now their woman is a single mother, is a bastard. And now we're getting ready to build a new nation. Fuck this thing up and create new thoughts over here and make new people over here and mix them with our blood and stuff like that. And then you get all this phallic religion. So now that's the father, because back in the day before they really was rooted with it, this was a natural way of how we communicated. Our father does this. The white man would be like, our father does that. You know what I'm saying? And that's what we'll be fighting. That was a normal way of communicating. So it was a lot of times, especially when it gets to the Mormons and getting into the Southeast and stuff like that, it was kicking our ass sometimes after they got good. We was kicking their ass, but after they got good at it, they converted a lot of us. Not convert as we believe in a spiritual system, convert as in their way of life. Their way of life was the religion. That's what y'all don't understand. In these times, a way of life is a religion. And you're upholding a father. You're upholding a singular thought for all y'all phenotype. And whoever the strongest children. So we used to call them Aunt Mary sons and shit. That's some history that y'all might not get. That is just oral tradition. You got to know it, be a native, and have some history about it, or be a Mason, and it's probably in a book or something like that. Call them Aunt Mary sons and shit. Mary O and them Mary. So that's their mother is in England. So that's the Masonic Mother Lodge over there. So for the most part, that's what birthed them. They came out of that mother, and then Mary natives, and that's how we conversate. So they kind of had to get with the lingo too. They started to look at it like that too. We all brothers and sisters. So them coming from the left world, you know what I'm saying? These are cousins, our brothers, but we look at it like, well, okay, that's Aunt Mary. You know what I'm saying? Those Aunt Mary sons coming over here and things of that nature. These how Aunt Mary's sons get down. Our relatives get down. And that's used to be the lingo before y'all get into y'all racism and be like, wait, this don't make sense or whatever like that. The white man know that's how we used to talk. You know what I'm saying? That's how the natives and the white people used to talk. That's how it was. It was always a spiritual thing first before physical. So when you even hear the white man talk about power and the sword and shit like that, the white man know that's some spiritual shit first. For him to even remix it, put the feather on top of the ink pan and shit, and now it's the power in the pen. You know, they know what they're doing. They know what they writing and putting egos around. And okay, yeah, we killed this Native American, took over their land. The people that's still there, we'll do something with them. We'll try to solve it. But we stamped this, and now it's a symbolism as a war badge, a badge of honor. You see what I'm saying? The whole concept of wearing other people, because the natives did that too. We'll cut your stomach out, put a Bible in it or something like that, to cut your head off and stake it because you want to drop a flag on it. We'll take the land back over and put the head on there to make sure no other settlers come on this territory right here in Indian country. Like, for real, this was a real thing, a way of life, like, type shit. Y'all don't know the half. You know what I'm saying? Y'all don't know the motherfucking half. So that's America. America, it has a deep soil history and a lot of blood in it. So the white man could claim that, the Native American could claim that, and a lot of people that they brought over here could claim that. You know what I'm saying? With them. You know what I'm saying? But that's rooted. That's rooted in history right there. You know, it wouldn't be no what we got today without that, and this being the land of the free. You know what I'm saying? And you even being able to talk and open up your mouth and say anything that goes against anything that got something to do with God.gov. You know what I'm saying? That people fought. Things was built on that. Respect was built on that. You know what I'm saying? All kind of shit. You know what I'm saying? So, yay. You know what I'm saying? This is America. Don't ever give up that damn spirit and shit like that. Y'all learn how to use y'all hands for something. Pottery, clothing, your creative gifts and talents. You know what I'm saying? Putting your souls on the ground and shit like that. And respecting this goddamn land and shit like that. And then we won't even have no problem with people even coming up with the fucking idea that continue that immigration shit and things of that nature. We'll say we enough. We keep it clean. We keep it shit clean enough by ourselves. We keep it shit moral enough by ourselves. We keep it shit enough honor by ourselves. You know what I'm saying? But we got to show that though. But we ain't got that spirit no more. But it's coming back. Grandma came back. I didn't brought grandma back. Grandma been trickling back for a while, but she really back now. And you got to respect this land, because for the most part, you're starting to see all the synthetic things that was made up on it. You start not to care about it anymore, or you're starting to look at it like how you always supposed to look at it, not a convenience, just a stepping stool. You know, ain't something, not what we doing, just how we do it, and we need to change how we doing it. You know what I'm saying? So it needs to be reevaluated. We can still add technology. It could be for things that deal with stuff in nature and things that's spiritual and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Or things that's just regular in the way of dealing with nature, since spiritual is too spooky for y'all and stuff like that. Just the senses of things. Well, you'll start to realize, God damn it, solar panels is wrong. You know what I'm saying? Not as it's wrong morally. That's not what's receiving energy. Ooh, man. That's not what's receiving energy. Because it could be wintertime, but if, let's say, you're real far east, all the way in China, Africa, or something like that, a solar panel would still work better than it being in America or Antarctica, or even smaller, lower portions of Europe, like Russia and stuff like that. Because it's not necessarily the sun itself. It's just if you're closer to that event that emanate and produces that sun in the first place, when atmospheres and two different temperatures interact on a macro scale. And that's what's producing that macro cloud. The sun, that produces as the micro clouds, the cooled off version that turns into water, that turns into air, and that turns into earth. And we're just seeing that transition. And therefore, it could be the middle of winter time, and a solar panel will still charge up more, because it's just in the temperature of that energy that's producing the outcome of it, that we call the radiation or the sun. You know what I'm saying? To emanation within the atmosphere. So we got to keep that in mind too. This is how everybody is able to experience seeing something from its geographical location, and knowing that it's an emanation, but at the same time, everybody don't experience it from the same reaction and responsionary energy from a time zone perspective. You know, spring, summer, winter, and fall is going to be different in geographical locations, yet we all able to see the sun, and it is still able to appear to be in the same position in the sky for all of us, yet everybody don't experience the same temperature. So that lets you know the sun itself ain't what's bringing temperature. Light don't travel, and light don't have a shape and form. Because if light traveled and that was the thing that was bringing heat, light should be able to travel from one summertime when another time zone is experiencing wintertime, and they should be able to experience a piece of summertime, because the light travel that the star and the sun is in control of the season. So that's wrong. That lets you know that's wrong. All of that is wrong. And it's the only reason why you could be in Antarctica and it's that temperature all year round, just slightly different on a polarizing scale between spring, summer, fall, and winter. And when you're in Africa and China or far east, it's more hot and things of that nature, how it is over there, even though it's still spring, summer, fall, and winter and shit. And then when you're in America, you're in the sweet spot. So the sun is always in a single position from this geographical location, just goddamn it, the raven, the raven, snake, and the owl, which will be Libra, Scorpio, and Sagittarius, Americanized. If you're African American, that would be Ma'at, Sakmat, and Happy, and things of that nature. So, because the Israelites would be the Indians, Native Americans, but then the other ones is what's them Africans called? The ones that they was talking about, damn, what was the other people? Hold on. Go back. Oh, so it's on this phone then. I won't be able to, or it might be on this phone. Damn, I forget what they was talking about in the Bible. What the fuck was they talking about in the Bible? And then hold on, it might be in here. Nope, it ain't in here either. I forgot what they was talking about in the Bible, but you could go back to that actual area, and those are the same people there. Because this help y'all not get confused when it comes to y'all wanting to say there was people everywhere. Or even sometimes when you see black people say black people was everywhere. Like the people and the phenotype before any colonization and after colonization. It's impossible to move every single person from the geographical location that they make them. So it's still going to be more of the population of the people that's from the continent and the geographical location. So don't get lost in your own small mind because you was born in America and you think that everything is based off some out of America theory or some goddamn shit. Where we know the white man ain't got no superpower to just completely replace every single person. And we know there's more percentage scale of the same people being on all the relative continents. So don't ever get that fucked up. That don't make no sense. Which I'll get into sometimes. But I think it's the burpee Africans or something like that. Because it's something the Aboriginals need to know. Because when we say in the Bible, it's the who are the not the Israelites, but the goddammit the motherfucking damn, I forget. Y'all probably don't know what I'm talking about though. Let me see, we're hold on. Who are the people of Egypt today?
According to study.com, the majority of Egypt's citizens identify themselves as Egyptians and as Muslims. Even though most Egyptians are Muslims, there are some Christian Egyptians.
See, not them though. See, y'all get in y'all American mind and think that Africa is just full of Arabs there or just full of black people. No, there's multiple phenotypes in Africa. Arab is just one, and them one of the ones that took over a lot of y'all. And then so replace this why y'all get lost when people say African American. It just means you got blood from Africa, but you may have been born in America. So these is nationalities, not ethnicities. Ethnicities is tied to phenotype, skin type. Man, there's a whole bunch in Africa. And there's a specific one that they're talking about in the Bible that you could point out. Damn, I forget the fucking name. I forget the name. But it's like y'all so whitewashed. Y'all Aboriginals and Pan-Africans is so whitewashed. Y'all don't get into no real studies. So you don't know how much people even been mixing and passing over from the multitude. Not your three phenotype concept. Like y'all get that from white man's starting point of who was creating monarchies first. You know what I'm saying? So they Caucasoid, that ain't got nothing to do with nothing. That's just somebody's skull of a person that they uphold who started the monarchy. Then you got the Chinaman one, Sham. Then you got the Arab one that African Americans keep trying to replace. The Negroid, y'all keep trying to replace what the white man is actually saying. The white man trying to say Ham is Arab. You know what I'm saying? Now, you could be part of something in Africa and even what an Arab started to mix with to create new nations. The white man, the Arab, and the Chinaman is in some monarchy shit of trying to create new nations. So they're the only ones who's writing these three concepts of their brotherhood manifested destiny. So this is why you see only Arabs upholding the majority of that fashion of religion, Jews and them upholding that other fashion, then what we got as Spanglers and everybody else, Anglo-Saxons, and that all that's becoming Masonry and Christianity. You see what I'm saying? So you only see white man, Arab, Chinaman. White man start arguing with each other, so they got James and Jesus, Lucifer and Christ, whatever, right? Arab man is who they about to start, because the white man only start arguing with each other because they think they're superior over all of them, because they came up with a template in the first place. Before it was property and all that, it was giving people game. Arab, Chinaman took that game as white man mixed with them. Arab took that game and wanted to do something harder with it, mixed with a whole bunch of other, because Africa is so big. And then here's where you get mixed in the sauce of what y'all call an African, and there's actual tribal different names and languages they was actually calling themselves that y'all getting whitewashed at this moment. Okay, with the Arab and the white man. Then you get the Chinaman with the same template, right? To try to make some new nations and agents and things of that nature. And then you have the Native Americans over here. And this was the only phenotype that didn't want to participate. So we become the hidden pillar, or the children, or the childish, or who want to still act like animals and don't grow up. But we got the most wisdom. But we don't want to do the foreign exchange shit. The closest we got to it was with the Iroquois. And foreign exchange come with shit. It don't just come with foreign exchange of products and resources. It come with, we have to mix with you and make you us. That's what it came with. The Arab just allowed that first. The Chinaman allowed that first. So racism or third world country shit wasn't necessarily looked at as slavery in these stages. It was looked at as developing monarchy and Arab and Chinaman getting funded by white man. Indian man being put with the offer. We got the offer. This is how y'all even get lost and know Indians is India. No, they know these Arabs. And what they're calling India as a subcontinent of making the North American Indians, mixing us on our own land and spreading us out in Africa and over there as missionaries too. Because a lot of us really just got conquered at some time. See what I'm saying? So we just went over and had to start mixing with people. And this how even Mexicans came in the Great Plains area. The Spangler man mixing with the Native Americans. So Mexicans, literally, I'm not telling y'all no lie. A Native American is literally mixed with me and white man. Literally. The Native American, specifically the Great Plains, and the Spangler. English Spangler man. You know what I'm saying? Then became Mexicans. So when they raised it up them, those were supposed to be the new nation. So those was the only ones who was in military, was able to do something and things of that nature. And they used a lot of them to get rid of the rest of the Native Americans and things of that nature and shit like that. Also, during the settlement of how we're here after decade and them upholding some manifested destiny. You know what I'm saying? This is some deep shit. This is America's shit. So you got to know what's going on. This is a whole thing. And one of the reasons why you're going through what you're going through at the moment. Waking up in one area, going to sleep in another area, being confused in one area, having a false fight in another area. You know what I'm saying? Not being sure about this. You know what I'm saying? Saying the hell with all religions. All this relationships being flunky. All this is coming from, this is what the generational curses are. These are what generational curses are. These are what traumas are. That you are still going and experiencing the same thing, but you're experiencing multiple versions of them now. Because then a lot of y'all are heavily mixed. So now it's getting into multiple experiences. Multiple things you do not understand. Multiple experiences where there's no assistance, no one to tell you what's going on, what, when, where. And even if you even start to trickle down a little area of saying, well, maybe it's this, maybe it's that. Somebody get ready to shut it down and say that you may be just crazy at the moment. You know what I'm saying? So this is just a shift. We're at this next 300-year mark. This is what it looked like. You know what I'm saying? This is what it looked like. So we went to that first one. Well, there's a lot of ones. But then it was that Grace one, building up one. Then it got to another one. That 1400-year period. Then that went through a 300-year cycle. 1700 years. Now, boom. We here again. Like how I've been telling y'all for the past 10 years in this motherfucking shit. We back at the same place. This lost synthetic concept they making y'all believe 2,000 years ago. We're back at those spaces that we was in with greater forms, a greater mind and body. So you're able to see the experiences we used to be in a new way now. And you're able to see that whatever you're doing now is what you always been doing. You are the ancestor. You're the same people. You're able to see where you was retarded at. You're able to see what you did. You're able to see what you didn't do. You're able to see where your power at now. Oh, this is it. It's the great awakening right now. New shift. What you gonna do with it? You know what I'm saying? What you gonna do with it? Is you gonna start fresh? You gonna start a new nation? Or is you gonna be docile and let everything go to a hole and there ain't gonna be no new golden era? Because that's what's actually need to happen, or was actually getting ready to be participated with. The development of the new golden era. That's what's happening right now. You can't even use the old gold anymore. It's deteriorated, and that's the old dark area. And it's gonna keep bringing darkness. But all the darkness is bringing a new golden era. So that's where we at right now. And the golden people are back. And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Y'all stay spiritually protected. We're gonna do some spooky shit for the Patreon. And I want to set some stuff up and shit like that, because we automatically in the new evening right now, not technically the new year. So, you know, I'm a person that don't like to sit my ass down too long. Y'all know that by now and shit like that. Then for the most part, probably do open panel later on tonight in this motherfucking shit. After I do the little spookism shit. You know what I'm saying? But I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart. Y'all stay spiritually protected. Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You know, I listen to the mind of that Terry's moon. I am the Royal Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. I'm going to that, going for that. Oh, yeah, I've been making some beats too, so I'll be reaching out to a lot of, if you're content creators watching me, and I got y'all too who already watch me. And we've already been doing Dylan's. But as far as content creators with your own nations and things of that nature too, if you got some talent or whatever the case may be, now don't make it too hard for me, like you're trying to make yourself special or whatever the case. If you watch me, open up your goddamn mouth. But if I don't reach out to you first, so you get on one of these tracks, either if you don't make music, speak over it or whatever the case may be, so we can even have these other countries and stuff like that look at it like, okay, they're actually participating in some kingship type of shit and things of that nature, and learning how to come together a lot better. And even if hip-hop or whatever the case, or music itself was to tear down, right, at least it'll be some back pockety energy there ready to replace it. And the end. And I love all y'all from the bottom of my heart.